I've just jumped out of my car actually because I've been sitting here waiting for nearly 25 minutes now, and just in case some people are wondering whether or not the lower wall is being protected from the elements, I'm going to whiz the camera around so you can see that unless the obviously the rain's going to come in and it might swoop, well obviously it does swoop down as well because it comes down and hits all parts, but there is no close adjacent buildings, so there's no protection from the elements here for the gable end. So I'm just going to whiz around for you so you can have a look. So as you can see there, that is the closest building to the location where the gable end is on the property, and then you've got an alleyway here as well, so, and a car park, so you've got quite an open area here. There's no high buildings around apart from similar sized buildings. So as you can see there isn't a lot of protection for these buildings from the rear. So I just thought I'd cover that point just in case someone would be curious to say, well, if you've got adjoining buildings, are they going to be offering some kind of protection? I wish there was, to be honest, because it would then help a little bit, but still the brickwork is porous. Now that said, some will say, and by the way I have taken my cap off, I'm not a professional photographer, so I'm not doing this for conformity, it's just warm in my car. Another point is, okay, so most brickwork, someone will say most brickwork is porous, and I'm not a brickie anyway. There are some bricks which I suppose you could say, like the engineering blue, and there are some other ones in the Peak District which have been mixed with slag from some of the foundries there, which have got copper in there, so they are quite impervious to rainwater. Having said that, I suppose you could say, well, we all know brick is wet, brick is porous, and we all know that water's going to go through, no big deal. So finding out the different degrees of whether or not the brick is porous doesn't teach you anything, I suppose. I suppose the point is, it's finding out how porous the brickwork is and how porous the mortar joint is, and what is the likelihood of water penetrating through that brickwork and causing you a problem, especially for some of you property investors that are refurbishing older terrace properties, where you're going to find that you've got a solid brick wall. Or if you're going to make a decision and you're going to buy something, if you're going to buy an older property which has got a cavity brick wall in there, then you're probably not going to get these issues as such. If you are going to buy something which is a bit older and you've got a solid, in this case 9-inch brick wall, then you're probably going to find, to some extent, when you're looking at the property, look at the orientation of the rear to find out where the prevailing weather's coming from, and then you're going to get an idea of which walls are going to have potential problems to have water penetration accessing them. Then you can determine whether or not you do need a full damp proof course, or you're going to try something like this first, where you're going to put a cream on the outside first and then see if that helps, and then after that, if that doesn't help, then go for a full, or go for another system. It might be tanking, it might be a chemical damp proof course, I don't know if people still have those. It could be the cream that I've used here as well, which is the dry zone, or it could be other systems that I've used. There's a company called Holland Damp Proof Company that they do a lower based damp retardant system, I suppose you could say, and I'm going to do a review about that one. I can't really say much at the moment, I'm still getting legal advice on that. So there are other systems out there, other ceramic systems that you need to look into if you want to. In regards to treating the brickwork, there are other products, and I can't really comment on them. I've had a quick look, and the tradespeople that I was using in regards to doing some of the, who were going to apply it, they were telling me that some of the other ones that they've used aren't very good. I did some research on this one, and this is the one I've chosen. Now, when they say they aren't very good, they weren't really elaborating as to why they found them that they weren't really any good. So I'm not going to comment, I'm just reflecting what other people have said. I'd have to try them to see, and at some stage I might get in touch with the manufacturers, or if the other manufacturers are available, let us know. It'd be interesting to look at your other products as well, and to do a test, or to find a property, someone else's property perhaps somewhere, and just try both systems and see. All I'm trying to do here is to solve a problem that I have, and if it offers some help and advice to other people, then that's good as well. Okay, thank you. Okay, so basically what I've talked about in the video, which was obviously done outside, is in regards to the different damp-proof or damp retardants, or whatever you call it, systems that have been used. I've used another one which I alluded to, and I can't really say a lot about it at the moment, and it also depends on the brickwork that you have as well. So if you then look at what I'm doing is I'm going to put on some hand sketches with different types of brickwork. So for you, those of you who don't know the difference between a solid brick wall and a cavity brick wall, then just have a look at those. Just have a look at the sketches. Read the text. You know, my writing isn't the most brilliant, but it gives you an idea of the difference between a solid brick wall and a cavity brick wall. I hope you find this useful, and I'll talk to you another time. Thank you. Bathroom extension. So, you know, you can't tank the whole building, so it's something which can be used on the upper floor. There is rendering, and there is other things that you can use as well. There's insulation that can be put on the outside of the brickwork. And you can also use paints as well. Next door have done that. I've decided not to paint it because every 2, 3, 4 years, whatever, you've got to get up there and paint it. And I just don't want to be doing that when the paint fades. Some people might not like the colour of the paint that you put on there. They might want to put their own colour paints on there as well. Somebody might want to paint it pink or green or purple or turquoise, whatever. And I'm just trying to keep it neutral, a blank canvas, so that any tenant comes in, they can then look at that and say that this is what they're going to use. The other thing is, as well, with the render, if that starts to come off, if it's not applied properly, you could have issues. One would say that you should get competent tradespeople, and I agree with that as well. And then also you've got scaffolding to go up there every single time that you need to paint it and everything else. This cream is guaranteed for 20 to 25 years. I know I've said 20 to 30, but I think it's actually 20 to 25 years. So, you know, I won't have to be scrambling up there once the cream is applied, and it's going to be the same colour as the brickwork when it dries. So I'm not going to have to be going up there repainting or recolorising the brickwork every so often. So I hope this helps. So, you know, it's one alternative. If you know of any others, suggest them. If you know of any other manufacturers that do similar products, then please suggest them as well. You know, I am open to this, and I hope this helps you. So it's just really a bit of a guide, really, to say if you've got water penetrating through your brickwork, then you may need to consider if you need to treat the whole wall or the whole of the, or just a particular area. It's up to you. Okay, so that's all I've got to say for now. I'm just going to do the final checks, and then I've got another 25 minutes or 30 minutes, because it's got to be an hour. So I've got another 25-minute check to do, and then I'm done. It's 5 minutes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply some of the cream that I've got onto areas close to where I've done the damp test, or the water penetrative test, sorry. Getting a bit tired now. So I've got a tub here. I'm going to use that. There is in the kit, as you can see there is a small tube, but I bought some previously anyway, because I was going to just treat the wall myself without speaking to the manufacturers, having read the literature online. So I've got a tub here, so I'm going to apply some of this to the areas. So as you can see, it's just a cream. Now this is test area number 1, as I call it. I'm going to write on the tubes actually after this. So I'm going to apply some to this area here, and this takes about 24 hours to dry, I think, so I've been told. And the second area is this test area here. So when I come back in a week or so, I'm going to be putting the tubes onto these areas, just so that, sorry, I'm going to be putting the tube onto these areas. It's quite close to that one, quite close to that one, to see if there is still, if it does offer some sort of protection. This one here, which is the third one, is the, surprisingly enough, is the area, or one of the bricks that's absorbed a lot of moisture. So it's going to be quite interesting to come back, apply the tube to this one, and just to see how much moisture is absorbed. If you look down here, you can see that there's a mortar joint there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, it's on a vertical mortar joint by the way, I'm going to select a mortar joint which is vertical, which is this one here. There is a fine crack in there, so I'm going to try and get as much as I can in there so that it does give us a balanced view. Or no, tell you what I'll do, I shall go for this area here. This one looks a lot better, so I'm going to put some of this cream on this area here, which is a mortar joint, a vertical one, and obviously got to get it on the brick as well. So that cream's been applied there. So when I come back, those are the test areas that I'm going to be applying it to. I'm going to get a bit of chalk and come back later on and just draw around these areas so I can see where they are. That's it. Okay, so what I've done is I've marked each area what I've treated with cream with an ultraviolet pen. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got an ultraviolet light, so when I come back I can just put that on there. So there's mark there to show me it's that area there that I'm going to be using. Also, you might be able to see that one a little bit better. I don't know if you can. No, ultraviolet marker there, ultraviolet marker there to show me that's the area. With the compo, okay, I've come over to here, and as you can see it's a little bit, I'm sorry about the light, it's not a very good day today in regards to light. You can see I've put the cream on there, I've got ultraviolet marker there, I've got ultraviolet marker there as well, and I've just got something on top to point down to the fact that I'm going to be looking at this. And with the final one, I've got ultraviolet marker there and there, and you can see where the cream is. So there's 4 areas. This is area 1 over here, which has been treated with the cream, area 2 over here, area 3, and area 4, which is down here. Make sure you do it on a day when it's dry, because the cream is water soluble in the sense that you can wash the brush in water. So don't put it on a rainy day and then be surprised if it doesn't work. So we'll come back and we'll do the tests. They've been on exactly 60 minutes now. The 3 which I initially put on have been on for 60 minutes, and the other one's been on the mortar joint for 55 minutes. So I'm going to take these 3 off first, and then, which is that one, and that one, I'm going to take off now, take a measurement first, and then I'm going to take this one off last. Okay, that's it.